You performed a lot of new songs off your album tonight, Vagabond. What is your favorite song to perform?
That's a tough question because that's like asking which of your children is your favorite. It differs. It differs because of my things that might be on my mind while I'm on stage, things that have happened throughout the day. So my favorite kind of changes. I've been really enjoying playing Vagabond lately. I think that's been my favorite child for at least the past couple of performances. So the answer to your question is Vagabond.
Okay. You seem to have a really positive response to that song. How is the album itself being perceived with your fans and as new fans to you, and as the album itself? How are your new fans?
Well, the new fans are obviously responding positively to the new music. The old fans as well are responding positively. It's a natural progression from where I was coming from with the acoustic effort that I was doing for so many years. The new sound is cool because it's a synergy of, it has the aggression of punk rock, but it's kind of laid back. It has lots of tone, and it's very Americana in its way. So it has overtones of country and blues, and I mean, even if you listen to a song like "Train to the End of the World," there's a little bit of that gospel feel into it, and it's because of the influence of the American South has had on me. Again, especially with the acoustic effort and spending so much time down there, and learning about where this music has truly come from and where it originated from, and that's the American South, and blues music, and gospel music. That's where American rock and roll came from, and that's where eventually punk came from, and all those influences are really starting to take hold and come out.
Okay. I personally noticed that you referenced Peter Steele in your set tonight.
I want to send this out to a friend of mine who's no longer here with us. His name is Pete Steele. He's the lead singer of Typo Negative. It's the anniversary of his death. We've been dead for a few years now. Some super fans know the story, but if you don't know the story of my relationship with Pete Steele, Pete basically, I was teaching him the songs to go out on stage, the first in 1994, 1995 when the Misfits were coming back with the Halloween night where they first played. Pete was supposed to sing the songs, and I was standing there teaching him to them, and at one point he turned to everybody, he stopped the practice, he was like, "Why are you making me sing these songs when this kid standing here sings these songs better than anyone standing in this room? This is your singer." And from then forward, I was the lead singer of the Misfits. I owe a lot to Pete. Pete was always there. After that one, I was kind of freaking out and I didn't know what the hell was going on. I would call Pete and he would make me laugh. So he was one of the first people that really gave me confidence in this whole 17-year journey that I've been on. And so I'll sing this song for you and for our dearly departed. Thank you all.
For that, you played "Crying on a Saturday Night." Did the song have anything to do with the reference, or was that the next song in line?
Well, "Crying on Saturday Night's it's a sad song and has, like I said on stage, Pete was one of the first people, on the Misfits journey that stood up for me.
Yeah.
And sort of pulled everybody into reality and said, this kid is really good. Why don't you give him a shot? And for me, Pete Steele was a hero of mine. I mean, I used to go and see him when they would play the circuit, anytime they came through New Jersey. And to have that opportunity to be on the other side of the curtain where I got to work with him and show him these songs, and for this man to then say, give this kid a shot, he's got some talent, was was amazing. And then, like I said, and then as I got started with things, and Pete was always on the other end of the phone if I needed him. You know, if I sort of got weird and out and lost on the way, Pete was there. So
Yeah.
it was really cool.
I feel like you could definitely hear that in this song.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
even if that's not what the song was about, you could definitely hear that
Sure.
from the story.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know, when Pete passed away, it's just like when anybody leaves the physical realm, you know, the first thing that came to my mind was you know, I really wish I had that one last opportunity to say, to remind him how much he meant to me.
Yeah.
But I think that, well, I'd like to think that he knows.
I definitely think that he lives through your songs.
Sure.
Yeah. And I know that you've come to Fresno before doing more acoustic acts than you have with the full band, and this time you've chosen to have a full band. Why did you choose to take all the members of the band and play your songs versus an acoustic act?
Well, it's a different vehicle. You know, when you amplify the band, and you know, you have a raging drummer like I do, and you know, you amplify things, you can be taken to a different place. The acoustic performances in that vehicle is as well. It's something different, and you can see that, you know, when the band walks off, and then I sit down and I play. So I need to, and I yearn to get to that higher plane, and with the band, it's really the only way to sort of get there.
Yeah, in all dimensions, especially with the new album.
Sure, yeah.
Everybody knows that you're with the Misfits. What is your most memorable show that you can think of?
With the Misfits? And that's a tough question. There was lots of favorite shows. The one that comes to mind is when we played at Mount Fuji on the Beautiful Monsters tour. Remember how excited everybody was. And when we walked out onto stage and there was just so many people. I remember it being real exciting, and it was exciting, you know, for all of us, because we got to hook back up with the guys from Megadeth, and Dave Mustaine and I had a really cool rapport, and Doyle and I like to sit and watch Dave and Marty just sort of warm up and just blow our minds. And that was a show with Marilyn Manson as well, so that was exciting. I have a lot of memories of us on stage. We used to laugh a lot. I know there's not too much video footage of those days, but man, we used to just laugh on stage and just have a really awesome time. Right now, the Mount Fuji show sticks out in my mind.
Just because it was so much fun, there was so much energy.
Yeah, I remember it just felt good. And I remember Doyle and I, like I said, sitting backstage with Dave Mustaine and Marty and watching them warm up, and our minds just being blown. And you know, the amount of people in the Mount Fuji amphitheater is pretty big, and you can see Mount Fuji in the background. And it was just an awesome show to be part of, and it was a really cool vibe.
Is it weird to be thinking of that and thinking of your mind being blown, and then being you as a front man and going to all these different shows and thinking that you're doing that for the same type of people, just people that are watching you and having their minds being blown? As you say?
It's all very familiar to me. I'm a very introspective person. I not that I leave things behind, but I don't hold on to things in the past. So I've given myself over to this life and its path and its journey. For whatever reasons, this is in this life. This is truly what I'm supposed to be doing, or at least I have faith in that. That's the whole adage where, you know, when people give themselves to God, they just say, all right, whatever is going to be is going to be. This is the path, I guess. And that's what I've sort of done, and it's taken me 14, 15 years to get to that point. I've been doing this for 2 decades, almost 18 years, and just the past couple I said, all right, and that's, I think that's the whole, when you get to that point in the road, that's the old story of the crossroads, and when you meet that man in black, and and I had that moment a few years ago. So,
has that changed your performance at all? Kind of
sure.
Coming to that realization?
Yeah, sure. Vagabond came out of that.
Yeah, it seems like you kind of have a different aspect, but sort of the same, like you're taking from the past and moving forward with it in that album.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, you have to remember, I have children as well. I have 2 children, and I'm married. And so, when I got to that point in my life that I was now bringing children into the world, and I'm living this life as a music man, and I got to the crossroads, and I had a lot of decisions I had to make, which way I wanted to go.
So this is kind of an on the surface question, but what made you name the album Vagabond?
I was indicating in that place where you're sort of in between things. Vagabond is sort of homeless, sort of drifter type of individual. And for a lot of years I felt that way, not knowing exactly where home was or who I was or what I was supposed to be doing, and it's easy to get lost along the way. Like I said, I had that epiphany and that moment of standing on the edge of the cliff a few years ago, and so I wanted to call the album Vagabond for that reason, just to indicate that in-betweenness.
Makes sense, because your first music video, there was a lot of shadows, a lot of dark, play with a lot of lights, kind of coming in between.
That's way cool that you got that.
It definitely translates.
Right on. Yeah, I got the chills. That's awesome.
There's one more ridiculous question.
None of your questions have been ridiculous. This is the best interview I've had in a long time.
Okay. Somebody wanted me to ask you that you didn't know what Grumpy Cat was.
It's true. It's true. I am not a Facebook person. I'm not a YouTube person. I hardly watch TV. I'm a bit of a closet geek. I love to read. I'm not that I'm afraid of all that, but I keep myself unplugged from the matrix as best I can. So yeah, I didn't know what Grumpy Cat was, but they showed me.
Yeah.
I know what Grumpy Cat is now.
Now you know she's adorable. She's like this big. You just want to hug her because she's so grumpy.
But even if you hug her, she's still grumpy.
Exactly.
What's wrong with Grumpy Cat?
I know you have Vagabond that's just released. Is there anything you have in the works right now?
I have an album called Lost Skeleton Returns, and it comes out in June, and that's the monster voice that I have. The Vagabond voice is one thing, and then my monster voice, where I put this skull makeup on and I take on the character, the Scarecrow. That character lives in the deep dark part of the forest, and he sees things a little bit differently than the Vagabond character does. And so I went into the studio and recorded an anthology of my monster music, tracks from off of American Psycho and Famous Monsters, Punk Rock is Dead, as well as 6 new songs, 3 videos. And so Lost Skeleton Returns will be released in June.
That's exciting. It's so soon.
Yep. And then after that, in August, I'll be releasing an acoustic album, Vagabond Acoustic.
Oh, wow.
Yep, August, September, and then I'll be back in the studio in November for the follow-up to Vagabond.
You're just a busy guy.
I'm a busy guy. Yep.